joined a cult, I found God, and he had a motorcycle accident.
And all in 1 week.
All in one.
Ben Savage, will he be a part of the podcast at all? Are you hoping that he'll come on as a guest at some point?
We have been talking about this podcast since 2019. It was Ryder's idea. And when he brought it up, we talked about it, all the four of us. It was something we all were back and forth. What's the best way to do it? Because that was before The Office Ladies. It was before this was its own genre. And so we talked about all the different ways we could do it. And at the end of our conversations, Ben said, I just don't think it's for me. And, we get it. So we're respecting his decision. And if he eventually wants to come on, we'll leave that door open. But
I hope he wants to come on.
For right now, he said, have fun. It's not for me.
Random question, but if you had to choose which character or characters on the series, not main cast, do you wish kind of stayed on longer? I mean, I'm kind of thinking along the lines of Mr. Turner, Minkus. Really excited to hear what you have to say on the podcast when these characters pop up.
Yeah, well, that's the thing we're really looking forward to also, is being able to invite all of the cast and guest cast back. We're trying to get as many people who want to come back. So we plan on having Mr. Turner, Tony Quinn, he's going to come on. Lee Norris, Minkus is scheduled to come on. We're going to talk to him. If I had to pick a cast member that I would have liked to have stuck around longer, it would be Minkus.
Me too.
I think, yeah.
Well, it's also because we're in the moment right now. We're watching the first few episodes, and Lee is so good.
Incredible.
He's such an incredible actor.
It's amazing.
And he was like so much better than the rest of us. Like all of us are just kind of like kids discovering acting, and Lee was already like a pro at that point. And he had such a defined character. And so it makes me sad that he left the show after the first season. And it wasn't any fault of his own.
No.
We've realized after the fact that a lot of it seems to have been because there was already Urkel on the TGIF lineup, and they didn't want too many nerds. So it was like a network directive. And it's too bad because Lee was an amazing character.
Phenomenal,
It was so fun. Yeah.
I loved Lee. He was amazing, but because he was in a different kind of storyline, I very rarely got a chance to work with him, where Tony Quinn, who played Mr. Turner, and I were very close friends, still are. So I thought there was a lot that they could have done with the Mr. Turner Sean character that they started to build up and then they just kind of dropped it.
I lived with him for a while, but yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, but it was his last episode was.
Joined a cult, I found God, and he had a motorcycle accident.
And all in 1 week.
All in one.
So I would love to have seen more Jonathan Turner stuff. Would have been great. We had so many really incredible guest casts on our show that there's a lot of people that would have loved to have around longer than they were there.
I also, Alex Desaire, who
Alex was amazing.
I didn't remember what his teacher name was.
Eli.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was a real missed opportunity to have another teacher character and kind of give some of the adults an opportunity to have more adult interactions and people to talk to. And he's such a talent.
He was also just so good.
He was so good. He was so wasted on our show, I think.
Yeah. Oh, he was.
They brought him in on second season, him and Tony. So it was like, and I think it was because they wanted to have that adult 20-something cool teachers. But there's just not enough room story-wise. At that point, we have like 10 characters on our show. So,
and then he went off and did Becker, and I think won Emmys, and it was like, see, that's what
I would have liked
to do the whole time. Yeah.